This is a quick tutorial on the Metric Olympics assignment. So you'll go into your content, Unit 1, and Homework Metric Olympic Assignment. You'll open up the document, take note of the due date and the end date, due on September 19th. It says to save both the directions and the data sheet. Save both documents, read over the directions carefully, complete the activity and fill in the data sheet, upload to the Dropbox by the due date. So once you open it, it's going to give you two documents. The first document is the directions. So this is an assignment in estimating and measuring using metric units. You will become familiar with metric units by estimating and measuring in a metric Olympic setting. Dun dun dun. You will measure with a ruler if you have one, or there is a link to a printable ruler. You will use the digital pocket scale in your lab kit and the graduated cylinder in your lab kit. So the materials required. Now this, you might have to get creative. We have a paper plate discus event. So if you don't have a paper plate, you can use a styrofoam plate, you could use an aluminum pie pan, you could cut out a piece of cardboard in a circular shape. So use your imagination for something that can act as a lightweight discus. There's the paper straw throw event. So you need something to use as a javelin. Suggestions include a paper or a plastic straw. The cotton ball shot put event. You can use a cotton ball. If you don't have that, perhaps you could crumple up a piece of paper towel, or maybe crumple up a tissue or some toilet paper and tape it into a ball so that it holds its shape. A pile of small objects to grab in your right hand for the right-handed marble grab event. So some suggestions. Pasta like macaroni or rotini, dry pasta, not cooked pasta, make sure it's dry. Maybe some rice, some cereal like Cheerios or grapes. Don't use anything heavy. Since you're using your digital pocket scale, you need something lightweight, under 500 grams. So don't use marbles, even though it's called the right-handed marble grab. Don't use marbles. Use something that is lightweight. You'll also need an object that holds water that can be squeezed out for the left-handed sponge squeeze event. So if you have a sponge, great. If not, maybe a washcloth or an old rag or an old t-shirt, something that you can soak in water and then wring out with your left hand. And I would suggest, if you do use an old t-shirt, perhaps cutting it down to a manageable size. Here's the link for the printable ruler. If you don't have a metric ruler or a measuring tape lying around, you can print one out here. You'll need a small bowl. From the science kit, you'll need your digital mass scale and the graduated cylinder. Now, if you don't have your science kit, please contact me so that we can look into that and get you your kit. The key question you're investigating is how closely can you match your estimate and your actual measurement in metric units. So then if you scroll on down, you'll see the directions for each event. You're going to have to put a starting line on your floor somewhere, or perhaps outside. Put your feet on the starting line, throw your discus, estimate the distance that you threw it, record it, and then measure the actual distance. And you will record it then on the data sheet. So in the data sheet is what you're going to turn in the Dropbox. Put your name, and it says you will fill this out with your data and refer to the directions to figure out how to fill this in. So that's what we're doing right now. So for the paper plate discus, you write down your estimate of what you think the distance was that you threw it, but then measure it to get your actual distance, and your score is going to be the difference. So for example, say you estimated that you would throw it 10 centimeters, but you actually threw it 20. 20 minus 10 is 10, so your score here is 10. Okay, so pretty easy. Estimate, then measure the actual. So you're going to do that for all of these different events, and the directions, like I said, are back in that direction. Paper, straw, throw. And you might not have all of the items, but like I said, use your imagination to find something that you can substitute. If you don't have a paper straw, maybe you could use a spaghetti noodle, right? Try to think of things you can use. I'm available for suggestions too if you draw a blank. The cotton ball, right? Again, you're going to start on the line, throw the cotton ball, estimate what you threw, and then measure the actual distance. For the right-handed marble grab, so with your right hand, you're going to grab a fistful of those small items, whether it be Cheerios or grapes or whatever it was that you found. Look at it, estimate in grams the mass, and then you're going to have to put some sort of container on your mass scale, hit tare to balance it back to 0, and then put the Cheerios or whatever in that to measure the mass and record. And if you go to this data sheet here, you'll notice grams, G for grams, the units are there. Okay, back to the directions here. Also on down are directions on how to use the digital mass scale and how to set it up. So pay close attention to that. The tare button is really important, right? Once you turn it on, you know, if you have something on it that you don't want the mass of, like you want to measure a bowl of grapes, but you don't want the mass of the bowl, you only want the grapes, put the bowl on, hit tare, and then place the grapes into the bowl. So that's super important. The left-handed sponge squeeze, so again, you're going to soak that object in water, squeeze it into a bowl, estimate how much in milliliters you think it is, and then pour that into the graduated cylinder. And again, there are directions here then to get an accurate measurement. Your cylinders are called 252, which means the maximum capacity is 250 milliliters, and you count by twos for those tiny little small lines. Make sure when you're taking your reading you're at eye level and you read the bottom of the curve. If you see a slight little curve, right, don't read right here, read at the bottom of the curve. And then fill in your data sheet. And again, you'll be calculating your score. So for the marble grab, if you estimated it was going to be 5 grams, but it was actually, oh, I don't know, say 7 grams, right? Then your score in this case is 7 minus 5, which is 2. Okay, the lower the score, the better. This means you had high accuracy in your estimates. That is a typo. Let me fix that. Right, because the closer together those numbers are, the more accurate you were in your estimating. Your total score, if you have a 10 here, 20 here, a 2 there, right, your total score, you're going to add all of these up. So 10 plus 20 would be 30, 32, so on and so forth. And you could put your total score down here. Okay. And then finally, the questions to answer. Did you complete this activity with anyone? Who won? Was it challenging? After you've completed it, make sure you click save, make sure your name is on it. Go back into the Dropbox and upload it by the due date. Once again, the due date for this is September 19th. If you have any questions, give me a call or send an email.